So today, by the end of this session, learners must be able to express one number as a fraction of another number. Learners should also be able to understand how to simplify fractions, either subtract decimals up to three decimal places. Learners should also be able to multiply decimals up to three decimal places. Learners could also aim to divide decimals up to three decimal places. Order and compare decimals. Learners should be able to round decimals to whole numbers. Learners could also aim to round decimals to or two decimal places. So a common fraction is a fraction in which the numerator and the denominator are both integers. For example, 3/8. Another example could be, one second, another example could be 1/2 or 1/4, and so on. Um, Fractions can be proper or improper. Now, now, a proper fraction has the numerator smaller than the denominator, so the numerator, the top one, is smaller than the denominator. An improper fraction has a numerator larger or equal to the denominator, for example, 5/3. 5 is bigger than 3. A fraction with the same numerator and denominator is equal to 1 whole, for example, 1/1 is 1, 2/2 is 1, 105/105 is 1, and so on. A mixed number is a combination of a whole number and a fraction, for example, 3.5. A unit fraction has 1 as the numerator, for example, half, an eighth, and a tenth. The numerator is the top number and the denominator is the bottom number. Some examples of fractions and how we did them. So 1 whole would be 1/1. 1 whole would be 1/1. 1/2 would be 1/2. 1/3 would be 1/3. 1/4 would be 1/4. 3/4 would be 3/4. 1/10 would be 1/10. 1/5 would be 1/5. 1/8 would be 1/8. 3/8 would be 3/8. And 1/9 would be 1/. One number expressed as a fraction of a number. Another. 20 pupils in a class of 32 reach their expected level in their Key Stage 2 maths test. What is this as a fraction? We can say this as 20 out of 32 and we can write it as 20/32. We can leave the answer like this, or more commonly we would simplify the fraction. Simplifying fractions. Fractions can be simplified if both the numerator and denominator can be divided by the same amount. This means that they have at least one common factor. For example, 20/32 can be simplified to the 5/8, as both the numerator and denominator can be divided by 4. 20/32 and 5/8 are equivalent fractions and have the same value. We look to see what is the biggest number that will divide exactly into both the numerator and denominator. In other words, we are looking for the highest common factor for the numerator and denominator. Not all fractions simplify. For example, 19/32. There's nothing that goes into both 19 and 32. One number expresses another as a fraction of another. Questions. Express the following as fractions and simplify the fractions where possible. In a recent test, maths test, 16 out of 20 plus, so 16 over 20. We know that 4 goes into these balls, so it would be 4 over 5. 4 divided by 16. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So it'd be 4 over 5. In a year 2 class, 24 people out of 32 have school dinner. So 20 or 32. We know that 8, you can divide 8 by both. So 24 divided by 8 is 3. 32 divided by 8 is 4. The answer is 3/4. In a written maths test, Bella got 48 out of 80 marks. We know that 16 can divide by both of these numbers, so it would be 3 over 5, not 10. Right, cross that out. 3 over 5. Yeah, so that is correct. By the end of the session, learners must be able to express one number as a fraction of another. Learners should also be able to understand how to simplify fractions. Learners will be assessed on their ability to express one number as a fraction of another number. Don't forget to complete your knowledge check. Decimal numbers. You probably know about decimal numbers. Here, we extend the topic to include decimals with 3 decimal places. That is, 3 digits to the right of the decimal point. An example is shown below. Note the number 2.754 means 2 units, 7 tenths, 5 hundredths, and 4 thousandths. The digit is the first decimal after the digit in the first, this should be in. The digit in the first decimal place is tenths, 7 tenths in the example above. The digit in the second decimal place is hundredths, 5 hundredths in the example above. And the digit in the third decimal place is a thousandth, 4 thousandths in the example above. An example of subtracting decimals, £72.86, take away £7.49. Set out the calculation lining up the decimal points. Write in the decimal point in write the de- in the dec write the decimal point in the answer line exactly beneath the others. Begin subtracting starting on the right side. So 72, 6, and 7, 49. It is carry the one from here. One carried from here, so from 7. 16 take away 9 is 7. 7 take away 4 is 3. 2, that's this. 2 take away 12 take away 7 is 5. And 6 take away nothing. 6. So the answer will be £65.37. Exactly shown you how to do it there. Multiplying decimal numbers, we can use related facts to help solve these types of problems. For example, calculate 0.05 times 27. We can use related facts of 5 times 27 is 135. We can either work this bit out in our head or use a standard written multiplication method. Using 5 times 27 is 135. 0.5 times 27 will be 135 divided by 100, which is 13.5. 0.05 times, yeah, 0.05 times 27 will be 1.35. Sorry, that would be 135 divided by 100. The answer is 1.35. Another way to multiply decimal numbers is using the lattice method, also known as Napier's bone. This is a great method you may have previously used for multiplying with integers. Have a look to see if you can follow the same method with decimal numbers. For example, 12.3 times 45.6. So here clearly you can see where the decimal point is and how you can use this to find out the answers. Dividing integers by decimal numbers. 35 divided by 0.7. To make this calculation easier, we can multiply both the number we are dividing by the dividend and the number we are dividing the dividend and the number we are divided by the divisor by 10. So it would equal 350 divided by 7. We do this as it's easier when the divisor is a whole number instead of a decimal. We can now use related facts to solve 350 divided by 7. We know from our multiplication tables that 7 times 5 is 35, so 35 times divided by 7 must be 5. So 35 divided by 7 is 5, therefore 350 divided by 7 is 50, therefore 35 divided by 0.7 is also 50. Because if you remember, all we did was divide, sorry, that, not the answer, ignore that, divide it by 100. No, 10, sorry. Right about 10. Dividing decimal numbers by decimal numbers. To calculate 2.8 divided by 0.4. Yeah, we can use related facts. And we can use the same method for dividing whole numbers by decimals. We can multiply both the dividend and the divisor by 100 to make each a whole number. This is because 2.8 divided by 0.04 is the same as 280 divided by 4. We can now use related facts to solve 280 divided by 4. We know from our multiplication tables that 4 times 7 is 28, so 28 divided by 4 is 7. If 28 divided by 4 is 7, therefore 280 divided by 4 will be 70, and 2.8 divided by 0.04 will also be 70. Long division with decimal numbers. Place value is very important when doing long division. Digits need to be perfectly lined up beneath each other. 43.2 divided by 15. Set out the division below and immediately put the decimal point on the answer line directly above the one in the question. Now you are ready to start. 15 divided by 43 by 2 divided by 15. As you can see here, 15 goes into 4, 0 times 15 goes into 43 two times. However, you carry 13, so 15 goes into 132. It goes into 132. How many times does it go to 132? 8. 8 remained at 12. Yeah, so what you would do is 4 is not divisible by 15, so you divide 43 by 15. Subtract 30 from 43 to give the remainder of 13. Bring down the 2 in order to make 132. Subtract 120 from 132 to give a remainder of 12. There are no more numbers to bring down. At this point, your answer is 2.8 with the remainder of 12 still to be divided by 50. Long division with decimal numbers. However, you can take this step this a step further. You can insert the zero after the two, as long as this does not change the value of the number. Bring down a zero in order to make 120. 120 is now exactly divided by 15, so you have a more accurate answer of 2.88. Following the final digit in the decimal number, you can add as many zeros as you need or like. Decimal numbers. Decimal numbers are simply numbers which are not integers. The decimal point separates the whole number part on the left of the decimal point from the fractional part on the right of the decimal point. For example, we use numbers to one, two, or three decimal places in many contexts. For example, running times in races in minutes and seconds, lengths in jumping events in athletics in meters, monthly rainfall in meters, weights of people in kg. To be able to understand these situations, we need to be able to use decimal numbers with confidence. For example, 87.605. This is the whole number part before the decimal point with with 8 tens and 7 units. This is the fractional part after the decimal point with 6 tenths, 0 hundredths, and 5 thousandths. What is the value of the three in the number? No, 0.035. So you would do it like this. No, 0.3. Again, this would be units. This would be tens. This would be this would be hundredths. This would be thousands. So it will be 300. You can either compare decimal numbers by using a number line, for example, show 3.403, 3.47, and 3.41 on the number line below. So if we calculate this, it's 3.401, 3.42, 3.43, 3.44, and 3.45, and so on. So 3.401 will be here, 3.401 will be there. 3.403 will be here. 3.3. Oh, no, sorry, that is wrong. I've got this one. 3.403 will be the next one. 403. 3.405, 406, and 3. 4. Yeah, exactly where I wrote it. We also use symbols less than and is greater than to compare decimal numbers. For example, 3.403 is greater than 3.401, while 3.403 is less than 3.407. Running. Here are the results of the London 2012 Olympic Games 100-meter race. Which country won the bronze medal? So the bronze is third. Whoever comes number third. Now the winner is the one with the least time in seconds. If you scan through this, the least time is clearly 5. So Jamaica is gold. The second least time from scanning this is Jamaica again. So Jamaica will break over. And the thirdly less time from scanning here. Sorry, what's happened here? Right, let me just break 1 sec. Sorry, let's do that again. So least time was Jamaica, which is gold. Second least time was Jamaica, just over. The third least time is the USA, which is from. So USA will be gone with the time 9.7 minutes. We can use a number line. A number line can be used to put these items in order, see below 9.6 and so on. So the wrong that goes to the time 9.79. That is the USA. Approximate decimal numbers by rounding. Decimal numbers can be rounded to the nearest whole number or to a number of decimal places. The number of decimal places are the number of digits to the right of the decimal point. How do we round? We either round up or round down, and there is a simple rule to follow to decide which to do. If the value of the digit in question is 5 or more, then we round up. If the value of the digit in question is 4 or less, then we round down. Well, what do we mean by the digit in question? This depends on whether we are rounding to a whole number or one decimal place or two decimal places and so on. Rounded to two decimal places. This means that after we have rounded, there will be two digits to the right of the decimal point. For example, round 41.2698 to two decimal places. This number is more than 41.26 but less than 41.27. The question is which is it closer to? We look at the third decimal place only. This is the third digit on the right of the decimal point. It is the digit in question in this case. It is 9. 9 is greater than 5. Yes. Therefore, we round up. This means that the answer is rounded to 41.27. If you look on the number line, we can clearly see that this is closer to 41.27 than 41.26. Population of European cities. Note that the populations are given in millions to three decimal places. Here we can have a look. Again, just a bit of analysis. We can see that Moscow is clearly the most populous city. We can then see that the second most populous city is London with 8.674. And we can see that the third most populous city is Madrid with 3.183 and so on. That is it, I believe, for today. If you have any questions, let me know and I will answer them for you now. Alternatively, you can ask in the group chat, which I can also answer for you. And, and yeah, I'll post this on the group chat and we will reconvene tomorrow, hopefully. But yeah, that's it. Thanks a lot.
No, I don't think there is no any other question. I think it's understandable. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thanks a lot. See you tomorrow. Bye.